Good evening, I'm Eric Zawadzki. I'm the developer for the Deviant the Renegades role-playing game. This is my tabletop group. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Jake playing Steve.
Noel playing Benji.
Rachel playing Tamsin.
Mark playing Solomon.
Okay. Do we want to start with quotes real quick?
Oh,
You have some?
let me pull them up. Please. No. 1 second. Apparently my app randomly updated and it's going through some initializing.
Oh, that's not a quote. Oh, wait, no.
All right, Steve, I need you to ding-dong ditch the hospital with Benji. Wait, I'm unconscious. Lucky you. Steve, you get a text message. It says, Steve, activate. I'm going to call Saul. You better call him. Heinrich Stupenbuffer. If you name him that, they're going to come to get him, look at his name, and say, you've suffered enough, I'll leave you alone. Our game is less about vengeance and more about spite. Steviation rhymes with deviation. He's not a deviant, he's a steviant. And that was it.
Sounds like something that comes out of Community. Stevians. Thank you, Senior Chang. Okay, we finished a story last time. So we get to reset things. Yay! So there's now a -5 penalty to conspiracy surveillance rolls until you use an overt scar or variation during the story. So that's nice. But you also get minor instabilities equal to your highest magnitude variation. To start with this, let's start the story with.
I'm so sorry, you said to add or heal?
Add.
Yeah.
You get new ones.
Just minor, though.
Just minor.
Minor instability.
Minor instability.
All minors.
As we start the day on Monday, I lose another point of damage.
Yes, add one.
1 per your highest magnitude.
Thank you.
And you already spent some experience to get your strength up. Mark, you said to 3?
From 2 to 3, yeah.
Okay. Any other experience expenditures?
No, I like to waffle about mine and then just spend it all in one big spree.
Okay, well, that's always fun, too.
Yep.
Currently, the beat jar has 2 beats in it from last session.
Yep.
Reminder about aspirations. Benji had said that he wants to talk to Zechariah about what Jean told him. Sol said he wants to learn potential ways to sabotage the weather vane. Steve is still wanting to track down Guernica. And then Tamsin says, figure out how to suck at sales while appearing competent. So,
Wish me luck.
How to be a competent suck.
yeah.
Maybe I'll use my cat.
That sounds like a very bad management book. How to be competent and yet suck. Something I just want to check real quick because I haven't thought about it in a little while is where are we at on conviction and loyalty touchstones and ratings? Steve.
I have one that is wavering.
Okay.
But I am otherwise.
Okay. So let's go through them very briefly. The comic is the wavering one, right?
The comic is the wavering one, yes.
Okay, not wavering. The minister is a conviction.
Yep. And then my 3 loyalty are Abby, Gary the personal trainer, and ambiguously demonic lawyer, Chris.
Chris.
Ambiguously demonic.
Which is good that I remember that because I don't remember his real name.
It's Zechariah.
Zechariah, that's right.
Yeah, like it's kind of fitting that you don't remember this out of character because you clearly don't remember it in character.
Yeah.
So I suppose that now means that your loyalty is higher than your conviction.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because you made friends with one person and lost another conviction touchdown earlier. This is relevant because that makes you a guardian. Also makes you vulnerable to becoming a devoted in a little bit more of that, but that imbalance gets worse. But
Okay.
But do they want you to be devoted to them?
I don't remember from reading the book. Are there perks or drawbacks that go
Yes.
along with being a guardian?
Indeed, there are. You gain one additional point of willpower per day, even if you don't get sleep.
Nice.
You don't suffer minor instabilities at the beginning of each story. Hey, so you don't need to worry about that this time.
All right.
And
Put
you
that
heal
on.
a minor instability at the beginning of each chapter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well.
Of course, if it flips and you end up with more loyalty or more conviction and loyalty again, then things that you lose that state. If your loyalty is too higher than your conviction, and at least one loyalty touchstone belongs to a conspiracy, you can convert to one of the devoted. It's again a narrative effect that's reflecting the fact that you're starting to behave like you're a devoted rather than a renegade, because you have more friends than enemies.
It's a good thing I only have one person involved in the conspiracy.
Yeah, so
right,
far.
Eric?
Right? Yeah,
Right.
really. Yeah. In this conspiracy. Okay, so that's that one. See, I knew there was a reason I was thinking about this. All right. Soul.
I have my two friends for loyalty.
So the cop.
The cop friend, Charlie, and then my girlfriend, Honora.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the name of the cop again.
Charlie Butler.
Charlie. Okay. I have him written down elsewhere, just not on this note page. And then your enemies are
The
boss.
old boss, Brandon Hicks.
Okay.
I had Gene, though it's starting to make more sense to have it be Dump Truck or whatever his name is.
If you want to shift from make him wavering this, or basically you basically want to eliminate him this time and switch to Dunk at the end of the session, you could do so.
Yeah, the other is the power plant.
Power plant himself.
But yeah, I think it makes more sense to be changing Gene over to Dunk.
Okay. So I will delete him out for now, and then at the end of the chapter, we can make it Dunk. You guys certainly had no shortage of animosity toward him in this game. All right. Amston.
I have, for loyalty touchstones, my coach and my teammate. I'm hoping to eventually add Abby. And the conviction touchstones would be the one jerk from Switzerland who messed with my skis. Who's been getting some literature, shockingly, about how wonderful it is to train in the Denver area. That's where we are. We're in Denver. The landlord/management company and Gene.
Are there any of those that you're thinking about swapping over?
I mean, eventually Gene, but I think you have an idea who he'll probably get swapped for. So, based
Okay.
on
Well, the thing is, it doesn't have to be conviction and conviction. It can be conviction and loyalty. It just needs to be no more than 5 touchdowns at a given time.
can I swap Gene for Abby on loyalty?
You can swap Gene out now, and then at the end of the session, you can make Abby your loyalty
Okay.
instead.
I will do that.
Okay.
Kitty.
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 Where's that kitty?
Oh, now it's behind a Marco.
Looking my can.
She looks like she did not appreciate the. Really, you have clean water upstairs.
Okay, and Benji.
I've got for loyalty Serafina, which is my car, and Zechariah, which is my attorney. That may or may not be a demon.
Sitting at one part. Well, I mean, it's not good art, but.
Unk is a clear conviction.
Yeah, Dunk is a clear conviction. Gene is also a clear conviction. I'm definitely keeping that one, especially now that I know that he injected me with righty and lefty.
Mm-hmm.
And then Keith Brandt is my other one, who is a somebody I screwed over back in the day, but he has not surfaced yet. I could get rid of him, but I don't really have a target yet for. Although I'll probably have one by the end of this session. So
It's possible.
let's get rid of him.
Let's get rid of him now and then go with the pick a new one next time.
It'll be fun. It'll be the wheel of somebody to fuck over.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever I pick up will probably be a conviction touchdown. I don't make friends easily.
You don't say. All right. Well, to kind of summarize where we left off at the end of last episode, after taking great pains to rescue William from the conspiracy at the motel, you had several of your family members and friends and basically your various loyalty touchstones held out to you and threatened, basically, in order to bring you to heal, as it were. And they sweetened this a little bit by offering you, most of you, jobs at the conspiracy. So that was on Saturday, the 11th, that all of this took place. And most of you have something to start work on the 13th, on Monday. Is there anything that people want to do before we get to Monday?
Yeah, I think I want to have that conversation with Zechariah before I start getting monitored 100% of the time.
Yeah, the episode name, by the way, is Tracking Cookies. Because you joined the dark side, sort of, but now they're tracking you.
Yay, we're getting cookies injected in our butts.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, so you can pretty easily arrange to meet with Zechariah. Despite the fact that it's a weekend, he's not exactly your usual lawyer, as you already kind of guessed. He actually told you, now that I think about it. But
Oh, did he tell us?
oh, no. That was that's the other guy.
That was Brandon.
Brandon, yeah. Okay.
So listen, before I get into what I came here for. Let me update you on what's going on, and I'll tell them what's happening.
So you're being blackmailed and threatened, and in order to force compliance.
Right. We've decided to pretend like we're going to roll over and go in there and dig for some dirt.
Well, that seems more promising than finding the dog photos that we, imagine are there, but probably not easily accessible.
Well, we might be able to get those too, but
Yeah. But you might be able to get something even more.
We're going to get more information quicker this way. However, we're not really sure what they can. I mean, obviously they want us to work for them. We're not quite sure what they're getting out of this.
Well, I guess you're about to find out. I mean, you've been doing something with their maintenance or something?
Well, you sort of. I mean, I've been doing it to screw with them, and I've been fixing stuff as I come across it or whatever, but mostly to figure out how it works. So I generally kind of sort of was doing a little bit what they would want, but not for the reasons that they wanted.
Yeah. I can understand that impulse.
But that brings me to the other part of why I came to see you. Because I did figure out something about how the building works that I think you ought to know.
Oh?
Remember that maintenance guy that I thought I spared off?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. He's still around. I'm not really sure how to describe this shit because I only seen it like well, I was pretty freaked out when it happened. But I think he's in the building still, but he's somewhere else. He called it the other side. Do you know what that is?
The other side of what?
I don't know. He just called it the other side.
Were there like weird, I don't know, doors that seem like they should go nowhere but go somewhere else?
Yeah.
I mean, you're serious?
Yeah, just like that.
Okay.
Came out of this big glowing hole in the world.
A portal.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
And I kind of opened it for him, and which is how he got through. I didn't realize that was what I was doing, but he did something to me, and now he can send me, I don't know, missions to do for him.
That's ironic.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in deeper than you thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's made you part of the building's infrastructure.
What does that mean?
Well, you know how infrastructure works, right? Like if you
that's
want
the weird
to get
building stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that too.
it.
But like also how it works, like what it represents is, layers upon layers of increasing complexity. You
So
have
he
to have
made
a
me
wheel
like a cog in the building.
Yeah, essentially.
Shit.
Well, it's actually better news than you think. I was a little concerned when you said that he disappeared, that he wasn't doing his function, which is pretty vital.
He says it's really important that the building continue to work because he says that if it doesn't, the world's going to end.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know the half of it, but that's it's not an exaggeration, I'm afraid.
Oh, so I should
um,
be fixing the building then.
Yes, please. You ever notice the lights, the power never goes out in the building?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever lived anywhere that never has power outages?
Well, no. But I figured it was because all the crazy redundancies that they got.
Oh yeah, and it is. It is because of the crazy redundancies. But there's a reason that those redundancies exist.
Oh.
See, that's the thing about angels. They know what they must do, but they rarely think to question why. Those of us who question, who get curious, we can figure things out. Maybe not the big picture, but tiny little pieces of the God Machine's projects. You realize this is confidential. You can share with your companions, but don't
if
let
I
this get out.
understood anything you just said, then maybe I could share it. But I think I'm mostly following you.
Well, let me try to keep it simple. Based on my research and the research of some of my colleagues, peers, however you want to describe it, the God Machine. I'm sorry.
Ex-angel?
Yes, ex-angels, I guess you could call us. I mean, demons. I mean, in the classical sense. But have you heard of the God Machine?
Well, that Brandon guy said something about that.
Yeah. Arcane pseudo omnipresent machine that does things in the background of the world. Usually hides its presence, but tries to keep its idea of order. Well, from what I can tell, the God Machine encountered some sort of reality error or cosmic infection about 20 years ago. This happens now and again, and the God Machine has developed extensive countermeasures for isolating or eliminating such glitches from reality. But in this case, its usual solutions didn't work, so it's just sort of split the universe into two parallel universes. The trouble is that the universes are kind of like conjoined twins. If they're ever completely separated, it'll destroy them both. But if they're allowed to merge, one will destroy the other, just kind of like saving an old file onto a new file overwrites the old file, with a new file rather. Serendipitous Garden serves as sort of a aperture between the two universes, simultaneously holding them together and keeping them from merging. This requires a tremendous amount of power, as I'm sure you can imagine, and has a near zero tolerance for power outages. Gene's purpose is to prevent that from happening. Mine was to prevent humans from interfering. But I realize now that in obeying the God Machine's objectives or directives to keep the building at near full occupancy, I failed in that purpose. See, destroying the building or cutting off its power are out of the question. Vacating it is also a bad solution, since eventually it will fall into blight and someone out there will end up demolishing it. In a perfect world, we could convince Ganangagap to use their technology to minimize the number of condos that damage human souls rather than maximizing as they are doing now. Then we can leave the dangerous units vacant and remodel them so that they aren't available for residential use. The city authorities are happy. The God Machine is happy. No universes are destroyed. The trouble, of course, is that Ganangagap definitely doesn't want that. The opposite, in fact, and that's where, if you're working with them now, you may be useful.
So all I got to do is convince them to stop trying to profit from the crazy thing the building does.
Yeah. That's all. Simple enough.
Okay. Well, at least I know what I need to do. Because I thought that breaking the building was going to be enough, but that's a bad idea now. So
it is.
And you know this because you used to be a part of it.
Yes. My exact role is a little complicated.
So does that mean I got to do what Gene says?
Yeah, I would recommend that. You don't have to like it.
What would happen if Jean went away? Would there be somebody new dispatched? Or would I just end up having to fix it on both sides then?
Well, it depends on what the fail safes are, and that's where I don't have enough knowledge to tell you how it works. Maybe this is part of the plan, and eliminating Gene will just cause another angel to be put in his place. Maybe it won't, and then there will be catastrophe. I find that unlikely. God Machine is usually a little more thorough than that.
Does the God Machine see both sides?
Undoubtedly. I mean, I don't know exactly what the differences between the two parallel universes. I've never been there.
Well, I know how to open the door now.
Have you tried going through?
Not yet.
Okay.
I figured I'd talk to you first.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going through a strange portal.
Even if I know where it goes?
Well, you know which universe it goes into, but again, you don't know what the difference is in that universe. Like, imagine if there was some sort of horrible reality contagion that had to be isolated. And by going over to the other side, your atoms would cease functioning properly. The spin, your basic, all the chemistry on the atomic level was different. I would kill you.
What does it mean that my first thought is, Eric, is that I could survive dispersion?
Bring it on.
Having watched Farscape with me, that's what.
Yeah.
Steve might be able to.
Well,
Maybe.
Given enough preparation, I think I might be able to too. But I would need to know what the properties of the other universe are.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have some thoughts then.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, anything else I should know before I go back?
I don't think so. I think that's enough for now.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're on our side, man, because I don't know what we'd do without you.
Probably fall directly into the traps.
Yeah. But yeah, listen, we might not be wanting to communicate with you so much in the near future here, as much as it pains me, because I think that they're going to probably be keeping a pretty close eye on us.
Yeah, they're pretty well known for that. They've probably been keeping an eye on you now. I mean, do you bring your phone with you?
Not this time.
Oh, good, because yeah, they can definitely track you using your phone.
All right. Well, all right. I'm out. See you later.
Later. All right. Any other actions before we move
We
on
don't-
to? Oh,
We don't need to roleplay them necessarily. I just wanted to state that I wanted to check in with both my coach and Danica just to get an idea on if they seem to be released or under surveillance.
Your coach is released and has no memory of whatever the heck happened to him.
Okay.
He doesn't remember you calling.
Okay.
Let's see. Danica is not answering yet.
All right. I will stick a mental pin in that.
But the good news is that the website is currently at 24 hours and isn't moving. The really grainy one where you stop the
That's good.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yep.
Little carrots.
Yep.
Tiny carrots.
Gonna do a bunch of skiing this weekend because I have a lot of anxious energy and anger.
I'm not sure how much. High July, there may be a little bit of lightness. There's going to be
Roller skis.
Huh?
Roller
skis. Okay, yes. I lived in Colorado for a couple of years, and even it gets pretty light on the snow when you get to the peak of summer. But anyway, that's me nitpicking.
Did Tamsin and I end up going out for some kind of like sushi or something with Abby last time?
You did.
I feel like we made arrangements too, but I don't remember any of it. So.
Okay. You did. She was pleased because she'd had a day off or something. It's never happens.
I think it was just more of a this happened, not anything of note came out of it.
Okay. All right.
I think during that conversation, you discovered that she has the ability to remember passwords and other stuff that you would do reflexively when she takes on the shape of another person.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that now.
It's part of the reason that she can play Karen so well is that, when someone greets her, she can wave and say their name.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
We need to add Karen or not Karen. We need to add Abby to the party.
Yes.
We don't want Karen.
Kind of. But I think we decided last time not to share anything that we know with her, just because it would put her at more of a okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and also the fact that she can be commanded to say anything.
Right. She would be in a worse position knowing exactly what's going on and what we're doing than she would be if she didn't.
That looked like a jar of pickles at first, but it's not.
Drinking pickle juice.
Pickle brine is not my thing.
Well, the little leash was not visible through your. I see that through your fingers, and it was a very greenish yellow on this laptop screen over here.
Yeah, the pumpkin put him off pickle juice for
oh God!
Wow, I haven't thought about a pumpkin in a long time. Good Lord.
Never going to pickle anything ever again.
It had a good run.
It did. It may still be having a good run out there somewhere.
I bet it's under Ian's bed at his mom's place.
I think both Ian and I have lost track of it. So
I thought it got tossed when you guys left.
All right, you guys have to share the pumpkin story, or we're going to not do anything but confuse people. In very brief.
Well, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not a very long story. We were in college. We were cleaning up our room, and we had a random pumpkin left over from Halloween stuff, and an empty jar of pickles. So my roommate decided to put the pumpkin in the pickle jar, and then I decided that as long as we were putting junk in the pickle jar, I would put in the little extra bits of, we had a couple of half-drank cans of Coke around or something like that. So we put some Coke in there, and instead of throwing it out for whatever reason, we just left it sitting out
for months.
For years. Yes. And the only time it was opened, my roommate said that he woke up later on that night with blood in his mouth. So we never opened it again.
But when it was opened, somebody took a swab of it for a science experiment.
Oh yeah, I did that. Yeah.
And it put all the bathroom doorknobs to shame, right?
Yeah. It was bad. It was really bad.
You guys at least threatened to leave it in the room after you moved out, but it ended up in someone else's house instead.
Yeah, someone's parents decided that wouldn't be charitable.
Yeah. leave a biohazard in the room.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the pickle story, the pickle jar, the pumpkin story.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Or pumpkin shell.
Very kept her very well. All right. So, I guess the other person has something that they want to achieve before, or they could potentially achieve before we start on everyone's first day of work. Did you have any thoughts on getting finding Guernica?
Yeah, I've been thinking about who I could ask that I haven't already asked. But I think, did I ask Abby last session? I could go ask Abby again. That seems like it would be in character. Go ask Abby again. Have you ever heard of a guy named Guernica?
That name is familiar, but I can't remember why.
Really?
No.
Huh. Well.
Also remembering that Karen suggested that maybe they could get your memories back if you let them.
The fridge.
Yeah, true. No, I've decided that Karen is at least as interested in me getting my memories back as I am. So
Probably right.
they got to dangle something in front of me before I buy it.
Okay. So soup. Okay.
So yeah, well, if you think of where you heard that name before, or if you run into anyone named Guernica, let me know. I'm trying to keep an eye out.
Okay. Guernica. I know it's a famous painting, but it's weird that someone named that. It's bothering me.
It's a famous painting?
Yeah, the name is it's a famous painting of a massacre.
Oh wait, I think I googled that. Haha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's weird that someone would go by that as a name. And the fact that I'm thinking that I heard someone called that, but now I can't. The fact that there's it can't possibly be anything but the same person is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Thank you.
What?
He had something. This empty space here. Ran
That's
to feed
something
the
he wanted
cat
to
with,
do.
but he had something he wanted to do before work started.
Okay.
So he should be back in a minute, I think.
Went to go get cider or something?
No, feed the cat
Oh, okay.
and cupcakes.
Well, while
Feed the
we're
cat
waiting
cupcakes?
for him, then let's gather in Steve's apartment before work on Monday,
Sounds good.
and just go over the plan here.
Nice looking cupcake.
Solomon, did you want to do something here before?
Yeah, I think I would try to call or maybe ideally visit with Anara to update her on the job situation, since I've been looking for one for a week or two, or how long it's been. Now I've got one, so I can do that. And
She can lay off.
what's that?
So she can lay off worrying about you?
Well, just, life stuff. Yeah. And then at least try and set up maybe a hunting trip sometime soon with Charlie.
That'll be a great cover for something.
Your hunting trip with your friend.
All right, so gather in Steve's apartment for a little bit of chat before we go off to work for the enemy.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's phone's in the microwave. This is going to be standard operating procedure for hanging out in Steve's apartment now.
I made. Though actually, can they get at the phones? while
We don't
we're
know.
Here? Oh, I guess we don't know. Yeah.
We're not sure.
Yeah,
Depends on how
surveillance
recently
that doesn't last long in this apartment, or in this condo.
Yeah.
So
Depends on how recently they tried to reinstall it.
I have attempted to have pancakes around for this, just because.
All right.
You have pancakes, or do you have pancakes?
Instead, it's entirely possible I'm shooting another raccoon. One or the other.
we're being attacked by murder hornets again.
Is murder hornets again?
No. I wish I should come up with something more creative than murder hornets again. It was one of those things that's funny once.
Well,
I think
we
it might
don't
be,
actually.
let's just give you. I'll just let you have pancakes.
We don't. I suppose we don't actually have to come up with something either. There could just be banging in the room next door that I just say pancakes to
Hold on.
everyone as they come in and point to the room.
I
They'll
just
know
want
what that means.
to point out that I think it's a bad sign that the GM feels sorry enough for us that he's giving us more
He's like,
instead of more.
fine, pancakes.
Just be aware that this is the carrot for the session. I'm not giving you any others.
I just wanted to tell you guys that I went and saw Zechariah and told him what was going on. And we probably shouldn't go visit him much in the near future unless we can shake our tail or whatever. But I did tell him about what Gene said, and he agreed. It turns out that if this place loses power for any reason, or gets blown up or knocked down or whatever, it could actually cause the world to end.
What?
Yeah. Something happened apparently that, and if I don't get this completely right, it's because it's kind of fucking crazy. But apparently there's some alternate universe that's like really close to ours, but not ours. And that's where Gene is right now. So when he came through the portal, that's where he went. Anyway, he said that if Gene said that something on his side needs a lot of power, which is why this place eats so much power and has so much like redundancy for how it gets it. And if that goes down, then either the two universes will fly apart or one of them will get saved over the other one and annihilate the other one. Neither of which is good.
So this condo is like a cork in keeping the universe from exploding.
That's a good way to put it.
Should we still be suing them? I'm in light of this new information, I'm just wondering.
Well, okay, here's the thing though, is the company that we're going up against, they're not trying to save the world. They're trying to make money off of us.
Yeah, that's
Those
true.
guys are the bad guys.
But do we have is there a plan if we succeed?
Well, okay, so I was talking to Zechariah, and Zechariah said best case scenario, whoever's in charge of the building makes it so that the building doesn't eat people anymore. Like
Oh,
break souls and stuff. Like it
That
can
would be good.
still do its job without hurting people. That's kind of the goal here. But this group of assholes, they want the building to not work properly. They're screwing up the power so that it makes more problems rather than less.
I think the comparison I made on this is imagine Jurassic Park except with the mythos instead of dinosaurs.
Yeah, and they're like blowing holes in the walls holding the dinosaurs back because they want the dinosaurs to get out and run around like crazy. That's how they make their real money.
okay. So it sounds like what you're saying is that our getting rid of them might actually help us maintain this place.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah,
Or-
so suing is still a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Emancipation.
I mean, if we could manage to somehow kill enough people at the top or convince them somehow to stop being terrible, that would work too. That we could stop suing them. But remember, Zechariah said it'd be like a year before we get anywhere.
Hmm.
So, yeah, let's keep doing it.
With some legal crap,
Yeah.
or there's booting out Karen and whoever else is working for him from the building and keeping them out.
Yeah, which is still good because they're trying to hurt people with it. So, Tamsin, when you go and start trying to convince people to join, to live here or whatever, just keep all that in mind.
Yes, live here, be exceptional.
Wow, I didn't even come up with that tagline. That's great. Be exceptional. Live here. Live here and be exceptional.
Yikes. See, you're a natural at this. Don't forget. It's really easy when you go undercover to forget what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Saul, don't break the energy.
Yeah. So I guess instead we got to figure out how to make it work like it's supposed to.
Right. Which means I might have to play nice with Gene, at least until I can figure out something to do about him. Because listen, nothing says that Gene's got to be the one to take care of things on the other side.
Well, I get maybe. I mean, is he from there, or he's just from here and can go there?
I don't know. Maybe he's from there.
It's like maybe it's like a space or something, and you walk through and there's no gravity or air or whatever, and it's not like we can necessarily go back and forth willy-nilly. You might
Yeah.
have something special over there that we don't know about.
Yeah, well, listen, you're the science guy. What happens if I get something from over there?
Like some object.
Yeah, like could you like do science stuff to it and like see if you can figure out what the other universe is like?
Possibly. The trouble is any science done on the object, quotes, the science that we do, is still under the rules of our universe. And so it may not explain how that object truly is under the rules there.
Could also turn into a raccoon.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Things in this building have a habit of turning into animals. I point
Listen,
at the room.
I want to do some research on this because I want to figure out a way to get rid of Gene, but I want to do it in a way that doesn't blow up the world.
Well,
If you need a lab rat to go in there and get something for you. I imagine I would probably come back all right.
You're probably the best equipped without being equipped with anything specific.
Yeah.
Well, let's hold off on that for the moment. I think I can trick Jean into helping.
Oh,
All right.
or that.
But if not, shoving Steve in random holes does sound fun.
I do know how to open the door. And that's why I think I can trick him into helping me figure this out.
Well, if the door can be opened, perhaps, as you put it, we can science through the door rather than bringing something through, because that's just going to alter properties. If we're able to measure something over there, there's still variables, but it's less. It might be a little more informative than the other.
Okay, like we stick a sensor through or something.
Right.
All right. Well, hey, can you start putting together tools for that?
Well, I was going to ask you. Well, you're like the tool guy.
Well, I can use the tools, but
just make.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Can't you just make a sensor pop out of your fist or something?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Oh.
I need the right tool, then I can integrate it.
Well, I can see what kind of stuff they have when I go there tomorrow, as far as at this tower thing.
Yeah.
Scrounge up some supplies, figure out how to make a sensor of some sort. See
Yeah,
what
do it.
Measure.
Good idea. All right, break.
The question though, is there a distance that we have to worry about between sides of the door?
No, I don't know, man.
If you knew that, I wouldn't need you to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
Do we just want to put it on a yardstick, or do we need a 20-foot pole? I don't know.
I'm fairly sure they use the metric system. We need a meter stick.
Well, we could use something totally.
This is science, guys. No yardsticks are allowed. Great.
Well, no, he was going to use a yardstick because what else are you going to do with a yardstick? Measure something?
Use it as a
No,
lightsaber.
tie your science stuff to it and stick it in a hole in reality.
The last time I used a yardstick, it was to swing it around like it was a lightsaber.
Yeah, you broke it.
I did break it.
All right.
Put it into the other world and it comes back as a meter stick.
Oh no!
It's
wow.
metric. They have metric.
We think the other universe uses a metric system. How do you know?
All right. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Well, I guess I won't try to blow up the thing tomorrow.
Good plan. So let's go.
Mm.
Wonder if we need to pack lunches.
I bet all their food is evil. I'd have better luck eating what comes out of this pancake maker. Whether it's a murder hornet or not.
I could make some pancakes for you if you want. I could make something out of this pancake maker for you if you want.
No.
No.
Scientific curiosity makes me want to say yes, but my own sense of survival says, no, I think I'm good with a sandwich.
Okay. Well, if you change your mind, I can go get the gun. The button's right there.
I can go get the gun.
We'll just save that for a special occasion.
All right.
Oh, man.
Well, I guess I don't have to go anywhere.
No, you're where you belong.
Yeah, I don't have to go anywhere either.
Well, yeah, because you don't have a job.
Nope.
Nope. You're the kept deviant around here.
Oh, we could watch Bollywood, Benji.
No, I actually
Hollywood?
have to do stuff.
Oh, you said you didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, because I work at the building.
Oh, yeah.
He has,
Oh,
to, he
crap.
has to go downstairs.
I don't have any clothes. I have like one business casual outfit. Oh, shoot. Did they say what the dress code was going to be?
They most certainly did not.
You haven't gotten your manual yet.
Oh, man. Yeah, but
Your
I'm
employee handbook.
yoga pants aren't in the...
Yeah, yoga pants
Are
are
you?
probably not likely to be the clothing of choice in this.
Shoot, and I have something else to worry over.
Well,
You never
remember,
stop playing.
you're trying to be bad at it, so wear yoga pants and
But she's
You know.
she's trying to seem like she's good at it.
I bet I probably have a dress that'll work.
Okay. All right. Shall we advance to Monday morning?
yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Oh, that's right. Animal Crossing.
Yep.
What did you do to piss off your cat this time?
Nothing.
All right. Okay. So, what are you, Tamsin? What are you doing? As you have a destination within Denver, ridiculously far away.
How far away is it?
It is busable or drivable. You could bike, but it would be a little bit a bit of a. I guess it would be too ridiculous for a bike. I
Okay.
wouldn't walk it though. It would be too far to walk.
Okay. I probably should drive.
Yeah. There's a parking garage. It has exorbitant prices.
Did
Yep, I
they
know.
give you a parking pass or anything?
Not yet.
Maybe they validate.
Maybe they'll validate.
I'll take the ticket in with me just in case.
All right.
For whatever place I was told to go to.
Okay. So you go to this office building. Pretty standard part of one of the high rises in the area. They have a couple floors. They probably only have one there, not big of an organization. But the receptionist gets your name and it says, "Okay, you're here to about the job." And she doesn't seem weirded out by the fact that like you don't know what the job is. She's been notified. You notice right away that like this is kind of a upscale business attire. Of particular note is all of the women are wearing dresses. There are no like pantsuits or anything of that nature. All dresses and makeup. So don't know whether that's culture or whether there's some sort of policy, but it's a bit more dressy than you had anticipated.
Yay.
Like, yeah.
I don't know if I own a skirt.
And she has you have a seat, and you wait around for, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. And eventually she lets you know that Mr. Cuckwalter will see you now.
All right. Well, I guess I stand up and follow her, trying to exude all of the confidence I am not currently feeling.
Yep. So you're showing her the office, and on the the nameplate. It's a corner office. It's a person of some clout in the organization, or at least as part of the organization. And the nameplate says Jared Cuckwalder Jr. The door opens. There's a gentleman in his 30s sitting there. He's got like a shelf full of management books of various types.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's one of those.
Come in.
Experience
Have a seat.
told me that the more management books they have, the worse there are at it. That's not out loud.
He sits down, pushes a button, the door closes gently behind you. It doesn't lock or anything ridiculous like that, but it definitely closes on its own. So I understand that you are going to be joining our sales team.
That's what they tell me.
Well, I am the director of sales and marketing, and I always like to introduce myself to new recruits before they really go through the training program, just to make sure that we all are on the same page on a couple matters. First off, we have a pretty strict dress code around here. And it basically describes what you've been witnessing. It's dressy and very, very traditional gender roles. Kind of weirdly so.
I see.
No cats.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I mean, like you are allowed to have a picture of your family as long as it's, well, obviously no cats, but a picture of a pet or whatever is fine as long as it's there primarily as a source of conversation. These are not things that are there for your comfort or to make it feel homey to you. It's there to make your customer more likely to buy a property from you. And we're very upfront about that. There's no reason to beat about the bush. The goal here is to sell. Sell. Yep, sell. And it doesn't take a long time for you to realize that I'm not good at doing this. I've been in corporate myself for quite a long time, but I cannot achieve the level of buzzword bingo that's going on here. He uses corporate jargon as though it is normal language and sometimes has to explain and sometimes doesn't bother. He sometimes uses management words that you know what they mean, but he's not using them right. And there's others times where you think that he's either it's a really obscure bit of very specific to this company jargon, or he's just making it up as he goes along. So it's not quite the business kitty, business, numbers, but it's on that level of someone who is clearly trying too hard.
Well, isn't he precious?
Before we get, also, just so that we have some idea of what kind of hours and so forth you might need to work, do you have any family that you live with, or are you married? Do you have kids? Again, inappropriate questions to be asking for at an interview or in this sort of setting, but he seems to be, this is just the way it goes with him. Yeah.
I'm working at not blowing everything up on the first day.
Yeah, this is definitely not your normal environment. You're used to obviously a much more physical environment, a lot more competitive, a lot more casual in terms of dress, and much more merit-based in a lot of other ways. This seems pretty restrictive and stifling.
Well, I mean, I didn't realize that you were allowed to ask that at this point, but I mean, you know better than I do. So it's just me. I do have a pretty demanding training schedule that I do like to try and make sure that I have time to accomplish each week. But other than that, it's mainly that. I moved out here to focus on my training and.
Well, we don't do a lot of evenings, so you will probably have your evenings off for the most part. Weekends we tend to be pretty busy for us. Got to show houses and such. So it's the only time our clients are available. Yeah.
Well, there's very few races that happen in the summer, so.
No. It's okay when it gets cold and it's snowy. There's not as many people who want to buy houses too. So.
Well, then
Our job, of course, is to convince them otherwise, but we can't, there's only so much we can do.
Wonderful.
Well, I will send you off to do your training, and goes on for a couple weeks, and then we'll expect you to shadow for a little while, and then you'll be put with a partner to really get the ropes and the culture ingrained. And then from there, you'll have your own thing, and it'll be measured according to the performance from there.
I can't wait.
Okay. Yeah, this is not exactly a very fun looking job.
Awesome.
Yeah, but it pays. You never got a offer letter about what it pays. You're not sure what it pays, but it supposedly pays. You can't possibly become an indentured servant to the corporation.
I mean, it's kind of cruel if that's what's happening and they still expect me to pay rent on top of that. I'm just saying.
It's true. It's true. All right. Let's see. Who next?
Mental note to self. See if I can sell Karen on sponsorship on Racing Bib instead.
Oh, well. All right.
I know what I'm going to be practicing after work tonight.
Yep. Are you comfortable? Wait, no. Okay, so let's do Benji real quick.
All right.
So Karen, of course, is involved with your orientation. Well, it might be Karen. It's actually let's face it, it's probably Abby. But she knows knows the ropes of what's going on, and is willing to play along and pretend to be Karen in this situation. She shows
When we walk by the front desk, is Abby sitting there?
Oh no, it's which did you? What the heck is his name? Lester.
Yeah.
Remember the name he goes by, but little coverage. So yeah, it's you're pretty sure it's probably Abby. She shows you the places you already know, where the maintenance room is, and also there's a little box of work orders outside there that you really didn't pay too close attention to, but it's kind of piled up since the last time since Gene was there, and I'm sure there's probably some angry people who haven't had their work orders fulfilled in a timely fashion. Of course, it was Gene, and he wasn't really well known for doing them quickly, so maybe you got more slack than you realized.
Sure.
At the moment, it's the kind of situation that would give you hives if you found yourself in it as a worker. Lefty and righty are kind of twitching to get stuff done. Again, their usual inane, what is wrong with you sort of tasks. Are you playing along with them at this point, or are you playing favorites? Are you trying to hold one? You play one against the other?
Well, okay, so I'm going to play along for the moment because what I'm trying to determine is if both of them are working for, like, because they usually work at cross purposes.
They do.
So
And
I'm going to
still
try
are.
and figure out if I can work out which one is the plant and which one is probably the accident.
Okay.
I have a theory already, but I'm going to try to work out whether my theory is correct.
What's your theory?
Well, my theory is that the angel one is the one the angel put there, and that the demon one is the one that is challenging the angel for dominance. Especially because he's the one that tends to play ball with me more often.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying not to let on to them that I know that there's anything different. That I'm trying to make it so that they don't know I'm testing them.
So you're kind of suspecting that Lefty is Gene's kind of anti-conscience?
Yeah,
Kind of the part of him that wants to fall?
exactly.
Okay.
But otherwise, I am going to complete, their tasks, but in a way where they have to, like, push a little harder than they usually do.
Okay.
Because I want to see if that brings anything out in them that will kind of reveal their hand or whatever.
Okay. Let's try manipulation plus crafts.
Okay. It's actually
It's a pretty good roll for you, as I recall.
pretty good roll for me, yeah. Okay. I don't have 9 again for this one. Come on. 5.
Oh, okay.
That's ridiculous.
It seems to be a little bit more complicated than that.
Okay.
Or it's not. Righty is pretty clearly a manifestation of Gene from this world. But Lefty's behavior is really a lot more like alien compared to Righty. Righty, you know you're fixing something. It doesn't always seem like it's the thing that you should need to fix, but Lefty is, as you've pointed out, is more destructive. And that's not an issue, but it's there's more to it. Almost like if there were a Gene in another world that was trying to overwrite this reality, and that was his job, Lefty might be the manifestation of something like that.
So he might be an angel from the other side.
Yes, something like that.
I wonder if there's 2 genes. And I wonder if the gene that came from over here is sabotaging them on the other side now. No, that seems weird. All the more reason to go over there and figure it out.
If it's weird, then it can't possibly be true.
Because I may need to kill Gene Prime too.
Okay, another thing that you discover as you're doing these work orders is that like the common areas are a mess. They always have been. You've poked things and changed light bulbs that have burned out in like a matter of hours. It's annoying, but I mean, you've come to expect that having lived here, and you know that your condo units are all just a huge mess of like electrical nonsense and Bollywood channels and all sorts of other weird things. But when you go into the non-weird apartments, condos, it isn't like that. It's they're pretty normal condos, pretty nice actually, and so that's sort of annoying. But at least the work orders don't involve crazy crap most of the time.
Right. I was going to say it probably makes that a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, you get your usual nightmare scenarios where someone tries to feed a meatloaf down the garbage disposal.
Sure.
But, you know, it's not anything worse than a building maintenance guy would encounter. But yeah, it's specifically the 13 units that are just completely screwed when it comes to nothing working right.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Then I'm just going to, I guess, burn through a bunch of the work orders as I'm able to. I'm probably pretty distracted by what the other stuff that I'm doing. But in any circumstance where people aren't around, I can cheat a whole lot by using integrated tools and probably fix things in very little time.
Yeah. Yeah, people like the people who put in their work orders a little bit more recently are actually pretty pleased that you have someone who actually will talk occasionally.
Yeah.
Versus Gene, who really never did, and doesn't seem to be trying to wheedle out of doing the work in the first place.
Sure. Well, I'm going to make sure to, with everybody who complains about Gene, shit talk him as much as possible. I will join right in and you know, we'll have a gay old time shit talking Gene.
Shit talking Gene. All right. Okay.
One thing that they will notice about me, though, is that I'm very unprofessional.
Yeah.
In the way that I speak and whatnot. I'm not like rude to them or anything. I'm pleasant, but
you're it's something like beyond just being blue collar, just like
yeah. I don't censor my language, and I don't really notice if they're shocked at that or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Soul, your first day at data management.
Where do I even go?
Where do you even go? There is a on the outskirts of town, so a little bit more of the suburban office environment than an urban one. It's a facility that has a lot of server rooms and a lot of people just poking at computers all day long. I'd say pushing paper, but it's almost all digital. You'll understand why in a little bit. What are you doing as far as dress code and so on in this?
I'll wear what I probably would have worn at the power plant in this, unless I had some sort of uniform specific. I don't know.
Okay. It's a little bit casual for them. They are, but they're not nearly as ridiculously dressed up as marketing is. Um, it's sort of a business casual level of things. Um, you are introduced to your immediate supervisor. Her name is Jan Webb, and she is happy to give you a tour of the facilities. We are structured as an organization to ensure that all units work together in harmony so that everyone benefits from the capabilities of all of them. Above all, we are a data-driven organization, the perfect home for every family and the perfect family for every home.
Why do you care about the homes? This is for power. This is...
What? No, this is all the data. All the data. We have different little subdivisions within our data. Like a lot of the other units are sort of one note in one way or another. But we have to kind of coordinate all of them. There's leads, which that group, they identify potential residents through social media and public records as being likely candidates for future sales. And then we pass that on to marketing to reach out to them and attempt to sell homes to them. This data doesn't come from us. That information comes initially from, let me stop and I'll show you our org chart.
Yeah, where's the power stuff?
Oh, we're getting to that.
Org chart.
Org chart. Oops, no, that's not it. See if it works. Okay. All right. So here is our org chart. Just so you have some idea of what we're talking about here. We are here in data management. Like I said, you can see we're central to the organization. Marketing has a much more strategic role to play, but nobody does their job without our help. So we consider ourselves very important to the organization as a whole. Now, in addition to leads, there's history. History maintains continually expanding dossiers of current and former residents based on data gathered by their phones and for any friendly surveillance available to research. For assets and residents, that's folks like you, the data includes that of known associates, which data management uses to, and sometimes provides to arbitration to ensure the total satisfaction of residents or to local police to aid in law enforcement action only when it benefits Ganungagap Group, of course. Then there's assessment, which analyzes the behavior of current residents to determine whether they potentially pose a risk to the Ganungagap Group. Again, the data comes from research, and any troublemakers are referred to arbitration, the association, or transfers. Then there's metrics. Metrics analyzes the capabilities of assets and residents and former assets and residents. It records the results of power source adjustments and measurements when taken during unplanned incidents. This is where you will be assigned initially in playing in that role. And then finally, there is the division. I'm sorry?
Say that again. Where are you putting me?
Metrics.
And then the last but not least is what we refer to here as weather. This is the only division that isn't a purely analytical role. It initiates power source adjustments through connections with City Hall by way of marketing and observes the results. It utilizes an advanced artificial intelligence to calculate and measure the impact of these experiments. It's our weather vane, and it is the heart of everything that happens at Serendipitous Gardens. I understand that Francois is researching the potential to increase the building's output by mandating the behavior of its residents and assets in residence. Association is excited to roll out the pilot program in the fourth quarter of this year. Did you have any questions? Out of character or in character?
Well, I thought it was working for that thing. The weather thing. The
The
power
other
guy.
thing, Francois is in charge of this whole division, but everyone has different roles within it. I mean, not everyone can analyze the weather. Not everyone needs to analyze the weather.
All right. Well, so as a nuclear power physicist, what good am I doing on your metrics team?
On the metrics team, well, you're going to identify the capabilities of some of the assets in residence, by which we mean you. We're going to test your capabilities, and then we're going to find how to make best use of them as an organization.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat my question because I don't see how the one is fitted for the other.
Look, we can find other nuclear physicists and other nuclear technicians. We can find other nuclear technicians. We can't find other nuclear technicians that emit the radiation. That would fall to you.
But metrics?
Yes, it's just called metrics. I mean, you can't call it human test subjects. You'll get an ocean here with them so fast you won't even make your head spin. So we call it metrics. And perhaps with good performance, and if you exhibit a talent in other areas, you can come to move into other subdivisions within the organization.
You got to work your way up to the weather vane.
Yeah. The weather vane is at the top.
Fine, show me metrics.
By showing them how good you are at human experimentation.
Yes, and how good you are at being a human experiment too.
First you get zapped, then you zap others.
Mm-hmm.
Then you
Yep.
manage other people that are zapping others.
The circle of zapping.
It's a circle. It's the pyramid of zapping, hierarchy of zapping. It's a zap
There you go.
hierarchy.
Right now you're a red.
My gosh, I haven't thought about that in a while. Was that a paranoia joke?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
When I was describing that, I was like, hey, I recognize,
Yeah, the ones who get zapped. The
yeah.
ones who zap others, the ones who or have other people get zapped. Yeah, manage people who zap others.
Even or odd, Eric?
Odd.
I start to shoot out light beams.
Okay. She takes cover.
So yeah, sorry, that happens sometimes.
But does not seem surprised.
But does not seem surprised. She's read your dossier. This is data after all. Yeah, so I alluded to, and I think it's pretty obvious from the context, that there's an AI that runs this division. And the reason that everything is, all the records are digital is because an AI runs all of this division.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hey, does Saul have electrokinesis?
No.
Okay.
He has storm caller and bioluminescence.
Okay. I just couldn't remember if any of your powers were rooted in that ability or not. Because I was like, geez, if you had any kind of electrokinesis, you could, because you are also a coactive, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, being a coactive with electrokinesis and having access to servers is pretty friggin' dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
but they probably know that,
Yeah.
which is why you're allowed near the servers.
Well, I mean,
Stormcaller would mess things
probably
up.
still wouldn't want like a lightning storm.
Oh,
No.
yeah, that's probably true. You're probably
Yeah.
even worse than somebody who can steal information.
I don't know that
Well,
worse is, but
That depends on whether you're talking about from the perspective of the corporation or from the perspective of keeping the building afloat.
Right. Well, they don't need their data to keep the building afloat.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'll just keep glowing because that happened.
I will say that the data would make it a lot easier to undo what they're doing.
Right.
Because you would know what they did to get it to this point.
Yep. That was one of the reasons I was asking.
Yeah. You gonna stay over there behind that wall, or are we gonna continue the tour?
Well, once the light goes away,
Well, sometimes it's
No.
hard to shut down, as it were. I'll try.
all right, try.
I begin trying.
Try then. I guess eventually you'll succeed.
Yes. Eventually, I succeed.
Okay. Eventually you manage to get your light under control. Yeah, she kind of gives you a look like, yeah, this is why you're not going directly to weather. Just like,
Yeah.
and why you're going to get your own. Your cube is not going to be is going to be inside a Faraday cage.
It can still happen every so often. I can't control that so much.
That's what I've been given to understand. But we'll test it out and see what happens. We're not going to do all of that yet today. We want to make sure that you've had a chance to make sure you fast, no food after midnight tonight. And we'll start in the morning.
And why do I need to fast?
First day on the job. It's very important to kind of clean out a little.
All right.
Welcome to Metrics.
Definitely go out for burgers tonight. See what happens. What's the worst that could happen?
Turn into a gremlin.
You could turn into a gremlin.
All right. Okay. So day's work is done, insofar as there's work to be done.
Oh, that's all of us, isn't it?
That is all of us.
Well, except for me.
Well, yes and no. I mean, you didn't have a way of getting Guernica, unless you had other things you had to get Guernica involved in this.
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll see if they have a coffee mug with Guernica on it and get that if they do for Abby. See if it'll help her remember.
I don't think that's the main issue, but
You know, Jake,
I don't know. I'm just thinking of random things.
No, there is something that you could do to figure out who Guernica is.
Oh?
Well, right now, quote unquote, Karen, quote unquote, and I are walking around the building. You might ask Karen.
Could.
Because Abby doesn't know, but Abby as Karen might.
oh
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Just walk up to Karen and say, Karen, who's Guernica?
All right. I guess I could try it. It'd give me something to do today, other
Yeah.
than finding a mug with a picture of Guernica on it.
Because she did tell you that she has that power.
True.
Yeah, a mug with Guernica. Well, the painting of Guernica might actually be findable, but a little bit. That's still pretty niche. It's not something you're going to get today. But so you're just going to ask her who's Guernica?
Yeah, if she happens to know anyone named Guernica.
That's Junior's golf partner.
Junior's golf partner?
Yeah, Jared Cuckwalder, Junior.
Oh. So you know someone named Guernica then?
She gets sort of a blank look, like that was the limit of what she can conjure up with this particular ability.
Oh.
You caught her by surprise, and so she was able to access that much of the memory, but it's not enough to like get into detail about it.
She doesn't know anything. She just knows the flash of insight.
Yeah. The equivalent of being able to say hi and address someone by their name when they say hi to you.
Or put in their password as a road action.
Yeah.
I wonder what I'd do with that. All right.
Well, it is a lead,
That's something.
believe it or not. Yeah. Shall we gather ye in?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Well, should we get together and review what happened?
sure. Only if it's someplace with a bar.
And food.
Most bars have
After
food.
midnight. So I gotta fill up.
She's sitting on art again.
She's walking.
Hey,
Now she's sitting on it.
Ah. My cat's judging my art with her butt.
That sounds very cat.
It does.
So yes, we could go to the. Let's go to the first place that Steve and
Abby?
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
they had
Like-
good margaritas.
Mexican place, yeah. Family Mexican place.
That way we can start to establish a regular place for us to go.
That is not Le Clown Bar.
It is not what?
Le Clown Bar.
Like Clown Bar?
It is a real bar in the 11th arrondissement of Paris. We had a country game set in Paris, and for this game, I did way too much research on the neighborhood that my character lived in. Just leave it at that.
That's a very random name for a place.
Cafe Carnival, or no, I mean Cafe Cannibal is another one. Cafe Cannibal.
Cannibal.
Wait, did you say carnival or cannibal?
Cannibal.
Cannibal. Yeah, Cafe
Hannibal
Cannibal.
Lecter.
Excellent.
Not Hannibal, Cannibal. But yeah, so anyway. So dinner and margaritas.
Yeah.
So, how was everyone's first day on the job?
I don't know if I'll be able to do this.
I love how everyone trying to talk at once.
Can I get another?
mine was fine. What were you asking Karen about?
A guy named Guernica. He's somehow related to me. I don't exactly know why.
Related to you? Like he's your dad?
No, you remember, you were there.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name? Said that someone named Guernica.
Your
Something.
your father-in-law,
Yes.
Yes,
ex-father-in-law.
ex-father-in-law. Yeah, and that somehow I was very involved with him in one way or another.
Right. Eric,
Oh.
I honestly can't remember. Did the guy I talked to at the church introduce himself as Guernica or not?
No, he did not.
Okay, thank you.
He introduced himself as Father what's it what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have the name somewhere written down, but
Not important.
it's not very important.
Okay. Sorry, I knew I didn't connect the two, but I couldn't remember if it was because I didn't know the name Guernica was what Steve was looking for, or if it was the guy didn't introduce himself as Guernica. And so,
Yeah.
All right.
Reverend
thank
Kevin
you.
Leake was his name.
Thank you.
Reverend Kevin Leake.
Well, yeah, so I don't know, my day wasn't super different than usual, but I don't know, I figured out some interesting things about my little helpers that we won't talk about that much here.
All right. Well, yes, I'm not going to be dealing with their power grid yet. They're putting me in what they call metrics, which sounds like I'm going to be involved in human testing for data.
Oh man,
Meaning you are
that sounds
testing
heavy.
people.
I think it's a combination of them testing me and maybe me testing others.
That sounds really heavy.
You know, I was going to complain about my horrible jerk of a boss, but you know what? That wins.
Who's your boss?
Oh, well, as my boss, directly some schmo, but apparently the whole data unit is headed by some AI named Francois.
Like a computer?
Yeah, like an AI. And
Your-
so he's
And that's
got
your boss?
all the data, and I'm sure he's got access to everything.
Okay, that's crazy.
Welcome to Deviant.
You know, I feel like there's some way that we can use that, but
Not yet.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
if you have any brilliant ideas, keep them to yourself.
Right. They did mention all the monitoring, specifically mentioned phones and data from them, and also who we are in contact with and all this. So, yeah.
Can they track pagers?
Maybe don't use electronic devices.
I had a pretty rough day too. Gary had me do a leg day. It was pretty killer. And then Bollywood was reruns. So,
Oh,
you know.
by the way, it's worth mentioning to you, Rachel. Remember the name of your boss?
Well, actually, no, I don't. What was my boss's name again?
His name is Jared Cuckwalder Jr.
Jared
Cuckwalder Jr. Yeah.
Cuckwalder Jr.
Mm.
Hey,
Seriously.
Is that name supposed to mean anything to us?
yeah. Hey, do you think that's the junior that Karen said? Or, you know, Karen, and I make quotes with my fingers.
Oh, I thought she was talking about one of her kids.
No, I think she was talking about somebody in the company.
What?
She did actually clarify that it was Jared Cuckwalder Jr.
Oh, okay.
What was she referring to with junior?
Apparently,
He's a golfing buddy with the Guernica guy that I've been looking for.
Oh,
Well, okay, I'm going to say, based on my interactions with this clown today, if they're voluntarily spending time together, you probably don't want to find Guernica.
Wait, you guys have clowns? I mean,
Work
I
at-
figured that place was going to be crazy, but that's
Well, I
If it
mean,
wasn't AI, I mean, AI in one division, clowns in
one
another.
division, clowns in the other.
everybody is dressed up with excessive makeup and really expensive clothing that's stylized for the environment. So yes, I guess they are technically clowns.
Do they carpool?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Should they carpool?
Carpool.
Oh, wow.
Any idea how much money we could save?
Especially given how expensive the rates at the parking garage are.
Oh boy, that's pretty funny.
Oh man. Okay.
Well, hey, Tamsin, if you find yourself in that guy's office again, you might take a look around and see if he's got any like pictures of him with himself with like his golf buddies or whatever. I mean,
I'll take
That
a
would be
look.
a useful conversation piece.
Yeah, we are allowed one picture as a useful conversation piece. And I can tell you, he has a library full of books on management, which
I'll bet money if this Guernica guy is important, he's got a picture somewhere in the office of him shaking his hand or something.
well, he seems to like to show off how important he is. So I'm sure that if there's something to show off there, he'll show it off before too long.
Well, yeah, all right. Well, see if you can keep him talking and whatnot and see if he'll show you any pictures or whatever.
I feel like Guernica isn't isn't actually an important person though. I think he's just important to past me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
I
I
don't
guess
know.
I forgot what you were looking into him for.
Yeah, it was about my past
Well, I could
and
ask him.
or whether or not I'm a serial killer.
I could ask him if there's any like golfing leagues in the company or something. Say I'm looking
Oh,
across the
And then
street.
I could go golfing.
Well, you're not part of the company,
No,
so
that's
unless you're willing to caddy for me, are you willing to caddy for me?
Oh, potentially. Yeah.
Tamsin, do you play golf?
I mean, I have played golf in the past. I'm working at being one of the best people in the world at getting something very tiny in a very specific spot. So I'm assuming there's some crossover in skill. Even though I've played
What,
for-
Ben Shapiro?
I could give you some pointers. Wait, do I know golf? I'm not sure if I know golf.
Roll to see if you know golf.
You know cricket,
I
because
would
there's all
think I
kinds
would
of
have
Bollywood
to.
movies about cricket.
I would think I would have to have known at least something about how golf works. Oh no, I've done this entirely wrong. Okay.
I have double nines on drive, but I don't think that's a
Well, your putting is worth shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have a bunch of dots in athletics and I'm a 45-year-old comic, so I feel like I definitely have been golfing at some point. But
I would say you probably have done some golfing not ridiculously long ago, but it's definitely not something you grew up with.
And it's probably not something I would remember either way. So,
Now, muscle memory probably is still good.
yeah, I'd probably
You still remember how to shoot.
remember how to play golf. I just wouldn't remember enough to be able to tell her how to play golf.
Yeah, you'd be a shit caddy.
I've played golf.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll see if they let you play golf with them, considering the.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I have the wrong body parts to play golf. Apparently, you need to bring your own club anatomically or something.
There's no bitterness here.
Hoping for like a marksmanship league or something so I can shoot.
It's
the
probably
ball
for the
out there.
best. They'd probably make you wear heels.
Maybe he's a
What, so you can shoot him?
No.
I was talking to Soul, not you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd be good at cheating at golf.
How do you, other than like changing your numbers, how do you cheat at golf?
Telekinesis.
Dropping balls.
Oh, okay.
My wits plus larceny is really high.
Okay, it's fair.
You know, with enhanced speed, I could like do an opening drive really far.
This is the new game. Let's see whose deviant powers make them better at golf.
I'm still trying to transcribe that whole thing from before, so I don't mind this.
Oh, no, my putting game is really on point. I've got translocation.
Oh, wow. Yeah, dude. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
I feel like they've noticed that when putting. It would be better to do that with a long shot when you kind of can lose
But
the
you
ball.
can't really because it's translocation. The range is limited.
Mm.
Yeah.
It looked like
Just
it was
gotta-
past the hole, but it's something in the cup. What?
Pretty weird stuff that you see in the golf course.
I'm sure you could mutate something useful.
Yeah, you definitely could. TK or telekinesis is the
Or
obvious
that,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to be able to throw a bus. You just need to be able to throw a golf ball. It's pretty easy.
So what were we doing before we tried to figure
I
out-
was stuck on
They're
golf.
playing golf.
We're
Yeah.
waiting for burritos.
Yeah.
having food and drinks,
Yeah.
and commiserating our terrible days.
Yeah, so I need to go shopping after this.
It's like having student loans again.
I think I'm going to put the seats back in my car.
Wow.
That's like a big
Don't go so
commitment.
extreme.
Because
Having
you guys not being able to sit in my car is really cramping my style.
You mean you having to go in someone else's car is cramping your style?
Yeah, that too.
Well, I guess we have projects.
So we done here?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, keep on it. Keep your head down.
Yeah, and I'll say again, you probably just want to get rid of all your electronic stuff. They're probably using it to get data on you.
I need some of that stuff.
No,
Well, no, I mean, I need to be able to time, and I need to be able to send stuff. And
Get a work phone.
Get a watch that's. Oh, we can just get a pocket watch or something.
all right, I'm getting a pocket watch, a chain, and a beeper.
I probably wouldn't use the beeper.
They can track you through a beeper.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them.
Good times.
It
Where's-
sends and receives signals.
All right. Well, where's the
Does.
steampunk revolution when you need it?
You
Did
know,
everyone have a chance? Good.
I could always get a rotary phone in my place. We could use the, a phone.
Still a phone.
Yeah, I don't think
I
it works like that, man.
But they won't be monitoring it if it's in my place.
I thought they couldn't track stuff in Steve's apartment.
Oh, but I suppose the
The line goes
cables
out.
eventually, yeah.
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 Now, if there was a
Yeah.
payphone, you'd be golden, but nobody has payphones anymore.
No.
We may
Too bad we don't have anybody with
write a lot of
telepathy.
notes.
I know. I took your telepath over. Wasn't that inconvenient?
Guess I'm writing lots of letters.
We should.
Oh, but no, I need it. I need my computer because I need to be able to track to make sure that Danica isn't being tortured with like poop food.
Here, just
Don't like get rid of it altogether. Just like be careful about where you use it.
Yeah.
what you use it for.
Okay, so I just need to find a Faraday cage. Wait, would I know what a Faraday cage is? Probably not.
You have
How about
any
this?
academics or science?
I have one dot in science.
That's probably enough to know what a Faraday cage
I have
is.
3.
Pretty common knowledge. You definitely know what a Faraday cage is.
We could make you a special briefcase.
All right, I can deal with that.
Well, anyway, knowing that I'm in this data thing, I'm not sure I'm going to have the kind of access to like sensor equipment that I thought I might.
Well, I mean, they've got to sense you somehow, so maybe you can at least get a look at it and see what it is.
Well, yeah, I'll see. Well, presumption right now.
You should like make all kinds of weird claims about the kind of stuff you can do and see if they like bring out more and more weird tools to detect it.
Well, we'll see what I'm doing tomorrow. Told me to fast, so I'm pretty sure it's something with me rather than
Oh yeah, then they're definitely going to stick something up your butt.
maybe.
It's not long enough for full colonoscopy prep. But
I was just joking, but
Well, yeah, they didn't tell me to do prep. They just said to fast
Maybe they're just putting you under.
or drawing blood.
or sticking something up your butt.
or maybe they just wanted you to be hungry all day.
Who knows?
We want you
You're
to
not
learn.
the only ones capable of petty.
We're not the only ones who can be petty.
Yeah.
All right. Day 2.
One other thing I want to do before we move on is, Sol, you do have a org chart structure that you are able to share with the group. You wish to do so.
A
There's
what?
some idea. The org chart.
Oh, the thing we were emailed.
Yeah, the thing you were emailed.
Uh,
Now you know about it in character.
Oh, that's helpful to know.
Yeah.
So I get you to go through it and give me the spiel on it, so that I know what everything
I'd like
means.
to remember having being told. I will summarize as best I can recall.
Mostly, I want to know where Dunk hangs out.
Dunk is probably in the arbitration, I would guess.
He's actually transfers.
Transfers.
Transfers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arbitration decides who gets moved, and transfers
Moves.
move.
Actually, arbitration is in charge of getting people to be on sides. Arbitration is the one you call when you need, I don't know, someone's friends and associates kidnapped and put in torture rooms to try to get them to cooperate with you. That's arbitration.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Got it.
See, real estate is the kind of the official face of the Ganun Gap Real Estate Group. That's the actual business side of things. This whole organization has sort of sprung as like a tumor on the side of this one. The real estate group is, or real estate, we can call them nodes out of character stuff. That won't
Ranch.
we use different language within. Is run by Jared Kuckwalder Sr. is in charge of the real estate group. Yeah.
And he thinks he's in charge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's kind of getting on in years, and he's getting close to at least thinking about retiring, or at least sort of retiring. He really is encouraging his son to sort of take the reins of things, and so has become increasingly hands off. Which Junior is obviously has discovered something that's more interesting than pure real estate. So yeah.
By the way, if any of you guys haven't read Mary Trump's book, it's worth doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the shapes from a mechanical perspective have meaning. Circles are the circle is the hierarchical.
Yeah.
The squares are structural. The upward pointing triangles are exploitative. The downward pointing triangles are temporal.
Are temporal?
Temporal.
Okay.
Yeah, nodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, temporal means they have direct, immediate control over it. The exploitative means that they are a little bit more indirect about it. Serendipitous Gardens is sort of a weird one because we established them as exploitative when we were building, but they kind of behave a little bit more as a temporal in a lot of the ways. But again, they don't control the building. The building is just something they're taking advantage of. So
The building controls you.
well, yeah, the building does the building thing. City Hall, the Ganunagap group donates a lot of money to local politicians and lobbies extensively to protect its interests in Serendipitous Gardens. So it's stuff like making residents' complaints disappear, and also making sure that the power companies keep on adding more power lines into the building. Data management, you kind of know. They direct overall strategy things. Sort of hold things together, as has been commented before. Marketing, you'll see those external partners. Marketing is plugged into all the various buyers of what they
People.
lovingly refer to as assets in residence.
Yeah.
Serendipitous Gardens, you're quite aware of. Transfers is what we've always called the moving company. They're in charge mostly of getting people out of the building and somewhere else where they can be held until they're offloaded. They also sometimes move other logistical cargo around because they got the trucks. Research is a polite way of describing the surveillance unit. Combination of closed circuit TV when you're on the premises, as you know. Cell phone tracking, which you've found out about. They also occasionally use analog monitoring, like private eyes or things of that nature. And it provides data to the association and arbitration to facilitate their work. Research is partially scientific and partially, well, try to keep people under control. So. Arbitration is sometimes less delicately known as leverage. You've encountered them now, sort of, or at least their work. A combination of inducements and threats involving their touchstones. Yeah. The association is not especially active right now, but they're basically a homeowners association for the condo and some of the other various other buildings within the same sort of family. Mostly these days they try to get people, like if someone is not obeying the rules, they sue them because they're a homeowners association. But it sounds like based on what's her name? Based on what Jan Webb was saying, it sounds like they may soon be creating new rules specifically to try to get the building to be a little bit more efficient. And by efficient, we mean efficient at making deviants. So expect that to become a thing eventually. Local police, what they do is the surveillance group obviously gets a lot of surveillance information. One of the things they have is they actually do run a little bit of a security system business. Is sort of like a little sub business within Gananga Gap. You buy a house and they recommend their security services. And it's a little bit like Ring, where you have a lot of control over, like a lot of direct involvement in it as the resident, but also all of your data is shared with law enforcement. Except Gananga Gap does not share all of your data with law enforcement. It only shares what is useful to Gananga Gap for law enforcement to have. Yeah, so great people. Oh, yeah, they occasionally fabricate footage. And I think that's everyone. Does all of that make sense within the structure?
Yeah, and just out of curiosity, what happens if data management just disappeared one day?
If data management disappeared one day, it would cut off all of you have several orphaned nodes which marketing would have to reconnect with itself to get significant value out of. They'd still have some ability to call on the resources of, say, research or arbitration, but it would be at a in game there'd be a penalty for them to use those nodes to express their will.
I did say that data was central to everything.
Yeah, it is. As you can see, it's literally in the middle of the organization, and touches pretty much everything, either directly or indirectly. You're actually encountering some new mechanics that are coming in a book that I'm working on. That is not the core book. It is not out yet. So.
Okay, I was just curious because it seemed like, okay, what happens if we knock down a node that's like connecting everything?
It's definitely disruptive. Taking down data management would be really rough on the rest of the organization.
Yeah.
Because marketing would basically lose a lot of its direct control and would have to reestablish that, which costs it effort, which costs some of its actions.
Right.
So they're less able to fuck with you if they're trying to stuff their intestines back in their guts.
Are you thinking that Saul is going to have to try to find a way to smuggle you in someday? See what kind of damage you can do?
I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
Okay.
Yep.
Saul and I are both very, very effective at wrecking shit.
It's true. In different ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
His involves a lot more radiation than yours.
Yeah, his seems more physical. Yours seems more
Emotional.
electronic, emotional.
So another thing, or like sort of mechanic that I'd like to play with, we're not gonna do too much with it yet, but as sort of members of the organization, you are given tasks, not just like individual tasks, which would, I mean, you obviously have your regular day jobs, but you're also, as far as the conspiracy is aware, you're devoted. But they're at least going to try to treat you as devoted and see what happens. So they will likely assign you tasks that are of benefit to the Nungagat group that use your specific talents. The way that works, though, is if you remain in good standing, continue to maintain the illusion that you're not trying to destroy them, you can choose what that task is and choose that out of character. Choose that task out of character and ensure that it in some ways benefits you as well. It helps you research information or allows you to get closer to the jugular of the organization.
Well, I totally know what we should do for our vignette tonight then.
All right.
Not that it's time for that yet.
No, it's a little early for that.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to do another day or do we want to sort of blur through the rest of the week? What are you trying to accomplish during the next few days as you're mostly doing training or being experimented on? Quite honestly.
Generally speaking, I would still be trying to find out if I can get my hands on some monitoring equipment to see if we can make something for the portal.
Okay. Give me a, let's see. Maybe a wits or manipulation plus larceny. I know you're not a Viking there, but
I'm not necessarily stealing it.
you're trying to get your hands on it and I
I'm
imagine
still
smuggle it out.
First, it's seeing what exists.
Okay, so you're trying to identify what some of
Do
this
they
monitoring
have
is.
anything that I think would be useful? Step 2 would be acquisition.
Okay, so let's start with identifying the weird stuff. Let's go for wits plus science.
Okay. We just re-roll 10s, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
2.
Okay. This equipment is really arcane. It probably follows some scientific premises or scientific principles, but they're a little difficult to get a really strong grasp on. You know how how some of this equipment responds to you when you're using your abilities, which might be something of a clue. And it appears that whatever is in you that gives you your weird powers as a coactive is the same sort of energy as is in the building. So if something that will measure you should be able to be converted to measure the building. Now there's a chance that you'll peg the meter as it were, like the amount of energy in you is orders of magnitude smaller than what is in the building. So you could adapt the technology, but it would have to be something that would be able to deal with something much bigger than you are.
So the device that they're using on him wouldn't necessarily be useful anyway.
Not directly, but the principles behind it might be able to be converted to it, or might be able to translate to it.
Well, Marco, something you might do is convince them that your scientific expertise could be of use in analyzing yourself. And get them to explain the principles behind it.
Maybe after a couple days, I could say, your equipment seems to be having some issues, or maybe I can help make it better.
Or you could offer to run. You could offer to run trials like at home and see if it changes when you're in the building or not.
Maybe. Might depend what they're looking at, if that makes sense for them to want to explore.
You could do a
Or if I
manipulation
have
plus
some-
science.
What's that?
You could try a manipulation plus science. To try to get
I'll
them
try
to
it. Sure.
send your delicate scientific equipment home with you.
Yeah, give me a home unit. All right. 7 still don't count. It's 8 and higher. All right, 2.
Yeah. Jan isn't able to jump on that right away, but she is intrigued by the idea and suggests that maybe that's something that we could try in a few days once I get some permissions and we've at least gotten through this initial what's the word?
Trial period.
Corporate culture training.
Okay.
It's cold anal thermometers all week.
It does not look up from here. It's anal thermometers all the way down.
Then you put them in your own rectum, and then next week you get to put them in other people's rectums, and then you teach other people how to put them into other people's rectums. It's gonna be a while.
At least you don't have to teach them to put it in your rectum.
So you think?
The key is a steady hand.
Rectal thermometer.
And lack of radiation.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what was that, Saul?
What?
He didn't say anything.
No, I didn't.
Oh. Okay. So what else?
Yeah, it's whatever you guys are working out through the week, I guess.
Yeah, I go clothes shopping and try not
Looking
to
for a
kill people.
photo?
What?
Are you looking for a photo?
Do I actually have a desk?
No. Are you looking for a golf photo?
Oh, I mean, yeah, whenever I'm in there.
Yeah.
Do I end up in his office again this week?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Quite a bit. You
Oh,
got to check up on your makeup and such.
all right. I know what I'm going to say. I made a trip to Sephora, and I'm assuming that this is more of a like fancy business dress for women, and not like we want you to be wearing a pantsuit just with a skirt.
Yeah, it's definitely not pantsuit with the skirt territory. It is. They want you to, not quite do the 50s housewife thing, but yeah, basically like that, but more business-like.
All right.
Yeah.
I
More 50s secretary.
Well, hopefully, Denver has some outlets nearby, or there. But no, the next time I was office, I was like,
Or guns?
I've been having a really hard time figuring out just the best photo that gives a good, just says something about me, but also says, hey, let's start some conversation, but let's make you feel like you can trust me. You want to open somebody up with your photo, right? Could I just see what you have on your desk, just so I can see an example?
Yeah, he shows you a photo of himself and 3 other guys who are at the golf course. One of them is definitely the minister from across the street.
Oh, I in my off time, I love sports as well. I mean, my focus isn't necessarily golf, but I mean, it's fun to play. You play with these guys often?
Yeah. As often as the job will let me. You've got to jargon. Something about unwinding, like work-life balance sort of thing, but in words that don't make any sense.
Network.
Cascade is somehow involved. You know that Cascade is not why you go golfing. But
Oh. Let's see. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to decide if I want to comment on the guy I know in the photo or not. You know what? More information is not necessarily good. So I'm just going to comment. Let's just note that in my brain. Thanks. You guys don't happen to have like a golf league here for team building or anything like that? Because
no,
I'm all about creating.
I mean, we do team building, but we don't really. Golf is not really. That's really a men's sport. I like shooting people.
Oh.
I hear tomorrow is bring your gun to work day.
I call this my daughter.
You should definitely bring a picture of you and your loyalty teammate or whatever that's the one they kidnapped, right?
Yep.
That's the one they kidnapped.
I'm
you
sure
should totally bring a picture of you and her both with your guns like pointing at the camera.
Oh gosh, no. Don't point guns at the camera. Gee, Christmas, dude.
You're supposed to be trying to be bad at it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we probably have a cute one that would be us like post race where
I'm sure your coach is involved too. I mean, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Like some race that you won, like one of you got first and one got third or something like that.
Yeah, some celebratory photo.
Yeah.
Probably with rifles, actually like across back for transport for race. All right, so I am gonna figure out whatever excuse I can to get out of this guy's office and do that.
Seems like a plan.
You know, I hear my cat's on fire. I'm gonna go take care of it.
Yeah. I'd recommend like a cat and like some elaborate baking thing.
What?
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty common one.
No,
Like,
that was what, as in your words did not come across.
oh, like some elaborate like cake or something, some like really good meal, and maybe holding a cat. That's a pretty people like cats,
People like cats.
and they like people who know how to bake.
Oh. Well, I mean, the guy upstairs makes some great pancakes. Maybe I could borrow some of his.
Pancakes.
That's clearly not what he was expecting, but we'll let this slide for now. And he's going to make a note that as the office Christmas gift, you'll probably get some cooking lessons.
Awesome.
Why is the guy cooking the pancakes holding a gun in his other hand?
Is what they would ask if they could see what you were doing in your apartment.
Yeah.
All right, fine. My next photo is going to have my coach, not my couch, my coach, my teammate, my cat, and a cake that says "Congrats, Tamsin" on it. And it'll be an ice cream cake, which you don't bake.
You do if you're bad at it.
It's not really the same afterwards though.
Nailed it.
Wow. This doesn't look like it does on Pinterest.
Well, I got news for Steve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, well, we're just going to assume that Steve's apartment is an abyss of information, hopefully.
An abyss of information.
Knock, knock, knock on Steve's door. I'm not going to text you.
Yeah. Oh, true. Good point.
I'm not going to text you this, especially. Hey, so I got a look at his a golfing photo of his, and he didn't really talk about any of the people in there, and so I guess I don't know if any of them was Guernica or not, but I did recognize one of the people in his golfing photo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's a priest or some sort of clergy person at the church across the street.
You know, I wouldn't have taken you to be a Catholic.
It's not. It would be Catholic, but yes.
What is it then?
What denomination is it?
Oh, we sort of said it was a random. Not really
well, that's
clear
right.
what it
Numerically.
is. First Savior's Church was the name.
Oh,
of the church.
yeah. Yeah, that's
and
right.
it's Reverend Kevin Leake is the name of the minister.
That's right.
Well, maybe. I mean, clearly he knows Guernica too, so maybe there's.
Maybe I don't know if they were in the same. I wasn't exactly going to come out and ask, hey, have you heard of anybody named Guernica? Do you go golfing with them? And oh, by the way, is that him in that photo right there?
Yeah.
If I don't know how much his golfing circles go into each other, but that's at least I don't know, better than what we've had so far as the next step.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's the priest across the street, though, because I do not like that guy.
Oh, you know the priest across the street?
Well, yeah, I feel like I've had a couple run-ins with him from a distance. You know, just churches aren't really my thing.
That's right. I went to
Ever since I almost got shot at one, or by someone from one.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You got
Never so much worse than
Hold
that.
on. I don't remember that.
You
do
don't
I?
remember being shot. No.
God damn it. Okay, so I don't say that.
okay. Then I don't say what.
You should definitely go do your Steve thing with him, though.
No, oh, that guy knows you though.
What?
Well, so you remember the first time that we went out with Abby and she was talking about soul problems?
No, that was my ex.
That was no, was it?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Abby didn't say
Abby
anything
didn't
about
say
soul
that.
problems. Abby's just as soul crushed as we are.
My bad.
And doesn't know.
Yep.
So when we saw your ex and she was talking about souls and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah?
I mean, I just got a little nervous, and so I figured, who knows better about souls than, religious people? And since the church is like right there, I went over and just talked to somebody just to see if what she was saying actually was plausible. And I was expecting the guy to be like, "Who are you, nutjob? And why?
Yeah.
Why are
She
you
was
here?"
saying some crazy stuff.
Okay, except he seemed to agree that what she was saying, like, was a thing, and he had some not nice things to say about you about all of that.
Oh well, now I have to go over there. I mean,
I figured that it was just more of a like, hey, famous guy, famous people sold their souls sort of thing. But
yeah, I guess.
and
I
also
guess.
if somebody's trying to figure out if they're a serial killer, I feel like maybe you don't want to go up to them afterwards and say, "Oh, by the way, a priest said your soul has problems or is missing." But
You're right. I'll need company.
no. Take Benji. Take Benji. Take Soul. Do not take me for this. Take my cat. Take
Yeah.
Abby. Don't take Abby. Abby's been through enough.
Abby, yeah. I could take Abby.
Oh, don't take Abby. Abby doesn't deserve that. Plus, she wouldn't be able to go and we'd get Abby in trouble. But
Look, if I'm not taking you, I'll figure something out.
okay, take a raccoon. I don't know, but
The idea is to bring someone along who would stop me if I suddenly became a crazed something.
Then take Saul. He'll just give you cancer or something.
That's true. That's true. I feel like Saul or Benji could handle me if I went.
Right, and plus
Something.
you're like indestructible. So
Yeah, no, I
what are you gonna
just
do? The cats and meow at you.
just talk me down or something. I don't know. I don't know how this whole thing works.
I don't either. I mean, I just feel like it's a bad idea if I go with you.
Okay. You don't have to.
I feel like if he's...
You do have a gun, but so does Saul.
What?
So.
I shoot paper targets only.
Really?
Yeah.
Never
What
been
the heck
hunting?
do you think happens in the Olympics? They don't pull random...
I figured you've been hunting.
No, they don't like have a deer for each competitor from each country to... It's not like I have to skin and butcher the thing before I move on to the. You shoot it at a paper target that's just a distance away in the cold, and then you ski a bunch more, and then you shoot again. Yeah, that's what I'm training for.
Okay. Maybe I'll get Saul then.
Yeah, get Saul.
He also has a gun.
Saul does also have a gun. And
Are
Saul
you worried about
also,
shooting the priest? What is going on?
No,
I don't know.
shoot me
Wait,
if I start doing crazy things.
Oh,
The whole
okay.
point
Shooting you
is to
doesn't
try to-
help.
What?
Shooting you doesn't help.
No,
It doesn't.
but it
So boom, if that
registers.
happens.
It registers though.
yeah,
Steve
but
doesn't know what's going on. He just wants someone else there in case
how do we know
something
that
happens.
it wouldn't make you angrier?
Yeah, there you go. It could be
Just
could be
Hulk
like
out.
the Incredible Hulk or something.
Exactly. Like,
Steve angry.
yes, but I am nominating Saul or Benji for this mission
Yeah, I'll see if one of them.
because
wants to-
neither of them have their boss as this guy's golfing partner, possibly, and I'd rather not have this. This is not the way for me to blend in.
Oh yeah.
So what you're saying is we can
Yeah.
bring our own club. I can see after a week you've already internalized the.
No, I
I-
see where you're coming from.
Yes,
You
it's coming
got,
from.
you got the intel, so you don't want to go sticking your nose in front of someone who
Well,
knows your boss.
There's no way it wouldn't get back to him, and then there's no way I'd be able to keep the facade.
Yeah, that's
That's the point.
I'll take Saul
Okay.
or Benji
Yes.
or a cat,
I
or I'll
mean,
just go by myself.
let's
Probably
take
are
a
allowed
cat.
more than one person,
Yeah.
technically.
Ooh, or I could take the new guy from the front desk.
If he's
you know.
there. Neil?
Lester, have
feel like-
you met Jesus?
I feel like we haven't done enough bonding with Lester.
Hey, random temp. How about you come to the
Let's go out.
And
Let's
it's
go.
really
Here's the
angry.
deal.
Stop me.
Hey, by the way, someone might be talking about whether or not I'm a serial killer. Just FYI.
If I go crazy
This
and
happens
try
now
to
and
shoot
again.
him, your job is to stop me.
That Panport temp does not get paid enough.
No, he definitely does not. But remember, that's also part of what we're doing with Lester. Trying to keep him from
Becoming
wanting,
permanent.
yeah, to become permanent.
Well, I mean, that is true. If you took him, that would probably be the last we ever saw of him.
Might well be.
You really underestimated student loans. All right. So who's going to church?
Are we doing that now, or are we doing a vignette?
Yeah, I guess we should probably stop and do a vignette. As much fun as it is to do.
Yeah,
I've been looking forward to the scene for a while, but
yeah, me too.
Something to look forward to for next session.
Z, I just thought I should drop in that I'm pretty much doing more of the same for the rest of the week. I don't have any. If I think of anything before the next session, I'll drop it in at the beginning of the next one. But I don't have any fantastic plans about what I can do without more moving forward.
okay.
My stuff is all dependent on what Saul is doing.
Yeah. All right. So shall we vignette?
Sure.
All right. Noel, you said you had a fantastic idea for a vignette.
Well, I think we should have a little another quote unquote board meeting, and we should each play our superior and have them get the okay for a task that they're going to give to us.
Okay.
So I think I need to play Karen this time. Because she's my boss now, right?
Mm-hmm.
True. And that means Rachel gets to play a jerk.
I think that was a foregone conclusion, regardless. But
Yeah.
you want to play the Soul or not Soul Marco? Did you want to play the Chipper? Sorry. Jan Webb, your immediate supervisor?
Or Francois!
I don't think she would be at the meeting. Francois.
Francois, you think would be it? Okay. We could do Francois.
This is a board meeting, man.
I am Francois, yeah.
How about you, Jake?
Who do we got left?
Well,
Duncan?
yeah, he's a known quantity. Others on, let me just check to see what ones you know of that are on the list of.
If you want to get hired by one of the nodes, you might drop that person in, Jake.
Steve is waiting for an offer. More than
Offer
just
that is not, well, we'll restore your memories, but that probably benefits us as much as you.
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is you can define that right now if you want to.
Oh, that's true.
Just pick a unit you want to work for, and or you want to offer it, and pitch it.
And if you need clarification about what these various groups are, again, I can tell you.
Honestly, I'm not good at making something like that up off the cuff. I'd have to think about it for a while.
Well, did you feel comfortable with someone from arbitration? Since we know that they are involved with messing with the various people in the cohort?
Sure. Do we know
Yeah.
someone from arbitration?
You don't, but we can make someone up. Give me a minute.
True.
Courtney from arbitration.
Courtney?
That does not sound nearly sinister enough.
Courtney.
Evil Courtney.
The guy.
Heather.
Heather?
Heather?
Could throw another accent in there just to be ridiculous. Hey there, I'm Gunter from arbitration.
I'm sorry, I might have to kill that linchpin right away. What are you doing in Denver?
I don't know.
How about Heather Westfall?
Heather Westfall, huh?
Yep. All right.
So Heather Westfall is ex-CIA. She's been brought on to do renditions within Denver, and she has her own black site.
Everybody.
Hardcore.
Nice to meet you all. Looking forward to working with you.
Greetings.
Sorry, I'm realigning my brain into business speak.
Yeah, it's hard. I couldn't quite do it.
I hope your onboarding experience is going well so that you can acclimate to the corporate culture that we have brewing here.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have any sharp objects in reach.
I'm glad I'm across town.
Welcome to the team. And Karen flashes you kind of a nasty look. It looks like she's used to being the only woman in the boardroom, and she doesn't like you right away because of that.
Okay.
Please place palm on the console on the table.
Step 1, touch your tongue to mine.
Well, let me start the meeting here then. The asset that has been placed under my authority this week seems to be doing his job, and I'm a little surprised, I have to admit, because he was the one that we were kind of the most worried about. He seems to have a little bit of trouble with authority, as we know, but I think that he's actually doing what he's supposed to be doing, as far as research has been able to show us. Does anybody have any, how have the others been doing?
Well, I'll admit that the asset that was assigned to my organization wasn't necessarily the most conventional pick. I am a little worried how she is acclimating to the specific nuances of a culture. I mean, it seems like perhaps the vibe and her synergistic energies really might go better with a less defined area, but I do trust the leadership that she will ultimately find at least some sort of place in our machine.
I'm sure under your leadership, she will do just fine.
Well, you know, the large quantity leadership seminars have given me an extensive vocabulary with which to express the concepts needed to really pull the organization forward into a new century and synergy. I'm sorry, I don't actually do that last one.
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, his not really using corporate speak correctly is totally part of the character.
Okay, well, he wouldn't do the jazz hands.
That's for Francois's benefit.
Mr. Starr has completed first round of testing. Data has been analyzed, and I believe I can move towards phase 2, towards the integration as potential extra power source for your building. Phase 2.
Karen looks a little nervous and says, "Oh, how exactly would that work?"
We develop integration machinery to convert his powers into usable source of energy for the building itself. The second phase is development of the equipment that can aid in that transfer.
Is that going to be safe? I mean, for
The purpose of testing is in part to acquire safety measures.
Oh, I see. So you'll be taking all of the new data on site then?
He is undergoing testing at our facility. At some point, he will have to move back to the building for more advanced phases.
Do you have a location within the building in mind for this integration?
Your office, Karen.
What?
Depends,
I'm just being.
it depends on what is required for the integration that is not yet known. There are numerous possibilities.
All right. Well, you may have to work with my new asset to install the system.
I am sure he would have to do some work.
Without Gene on site, I don't know if anyone else would be able to do it. Do we trust him enough to have him working on that level?
When it comes to it, make sure that he is compliant.
Oh, all right. Well, arbitration, you're here. Welcome again. What do you think about keeping tabs on Mr. Benjamin?
Well, on Benji?
Yeah, Benjamin
This is-
O'Brien. Yeah.
This is Karen. She, of course, uses everyone's full name because she's just that kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
Character.
Gotcha.
She's used to dealing with Abigail, remember?
Well, I think that we should I think that we should be fine as long as there's no kind of paper trail or anything on this stuff that anyone could really get a hold of.
All right. So you will be ready in case there's any kind of problem with him.
Oh, we're always ready.
All right. You requested a seat at the table in this meeting. Did you have something else you wanted to talk about?
You can talk about
No.
everyone else's imprisoned
No.
loved ones.
I didn't. Oh wait, that's arbitration.
Yeah,
That's arbitration. No, that
Oh.
transfers is the ones that takes the assets and puts them in placement.
Yeah, I
Oh.
thought that was the same thing. So arbitration is the loved ones too.
Yeah, that's the ones that mess around with your loved ones to get you to do what they want. That's arbitration.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would really anticipate, or really, it would be ideal to have an update from arbitration, because one of the related assets that you have on hand that is related to the asset that I myself have under my leadership has been popping up in many of the desktop flair that we like to promote around our office to bring a culture of personality without too much personality, of course, so that we can make any people feel at ease without necessarily feeling obliterated by the personality of our individual assets. I'm worried that could potentially become some sticking point in the future, and I'd rather deal with it now than stick a pin in it.
So to
Yeah.
speak.
Well, so I think we've got our arms around everything. To our knowledge, we don't have any sort of. It seems like everyone is well taken care of. We've got tabs on everyone, I think. And is there anyone we're missing?
What about Stephen Powers?
Oh, I'm sure we have something special lined up for him. Knowing look at the GM, I'm sure we have something very special lined up for him. You just wait and see.
He's the
Gonna
only
be
one that's
fun.
not under our thumb at the moment. Do we have any way to sweeten the deal, so to speak? Or, the other one.
That's a good question.
He does seem to be forming connections with many of our individual assets. So even if an outside source does not present itself as a possible solution, perhaps it can integrate itself into our plans so that
Yeah,
we can
no, I
ask for future quarters and expended earnings. And
The thing
synergy
is-
between all of our groups.
the thing is, he doesn't even seem to know much about his past. So if we come up with a convincing enough story to sell him on, we can kind of name our price, if you catch my meaning.
Well, yeah, do it.
Maybe we have various entry points so that we can seed our narrative into his reality.
Yep, we definitely have those things.
Well, what do you have in mind for him then? What would you like to use him for?
Honestly,
Okay, just to give you a reminder out of character with stuff that we discussed as like making sure you're on board with things, because safety tools are important to everybody. You actually have a history prior to your memory thing of being really good at, I mean, there's a reason that you were like a covert agent. There's a reason that you're really good with a gun still, and that half your merit dots involve firearms in some way. So they know that, by the way.
true. So he might be really useful as someone to help us get close to other touch points for some of our other assets in question.
Oh. You think that pieces of his past may work their way into being external partners in the future for us?
I don't know about that, but just those are mostly just motivations. I mean, also there's whatever is going on between him and his apartment is strange.
To our frustration, we still have not been able to monitor that appropriately.
Yeah, and I feel like he's got some answers that we don't on that front.
If you run out
So maybe if we could motivate him.
on those ends, I maintain that I can always make use of him as a permanent subject to test with his survivability.
Yeah, that works too.
That's a little bit of a dead end, though.
Mention, if you run out of
Dead
use
end.
for him in other areas, I will maintain there is a use for him in data.
Okay, out of character. So we're using this as a way to establish the next session's mission that you're going to be assigned. What is the next session's mission that you're going to be assigned? I heard something that made it seem as though they're going to try to get you to install a apparatus to channel Soul's electrical energy into the building in a relatively safe fashion. Is that accurate?
That
Yep.
would be future, because they have to figure out what that machinery would look like by testing.
We do science here. We don't have to
Yeah.
read on things.
So the next phase would be basically how to make such a transfer into useful energy and what that machinery would look like. And then get it installed.
So that's a good mission for Saul and I to do. And as a bonus, I'm going to get them to install all the sensor stuff to quote unquote make sure everything is safe on a large scale, because it's going to be affecting the potentially the entire building.
I have no shortage of stuff to keep Steve occupied next week. I foresee
Yeah.
no faltering rolls.
I'm sure the meeting with Guernica is going to be full of hooks.
You have no idea how much I actually want to be there for that.
Yeah, you just can't quite get away with it.
It would blow up everything. Unless, actually, I had an idea. You bring a
Not
briefcase.
as much as Saul.
You bring a briefcase,
Briefcase and put a cat in it.
or you just put a liquid person in it.
Okay, but you become a cat. Remember?
Oh,
Yeah, because that's your.
I know. I'll bring
involuntary.
Rachel along in a thermos. This is going to be great.
yes. And then you open it up and you get a very angry cat going out.
Great.
But also bring Saul.
All right. We have some idea what's going on next session.
Yep.
All right. Let's go through stuff. Touchstone adjustments. I know there were some that people had in mind.
Yes.
Saul, rather. What are you doing? Who are you adding, or are you adding?
The Dunk was his name.
Dunk. Okay. So he's currently wavering, but once you oppose him, he will be a new conviction section for you. All right. Tamsin.
I was looking to remove Jean and add Abby. Well, I guess I did.
Yep.
I'm adding Abby.
Abby is a loyalty.
Yep.
Currently wavering, but the first time you do something with her, you will get her more pointed. And then Benji.
I have removed,
Heath.
yeah, and I'm going to be adding Karen as a conviction touchdown. Because she's my new boss.
Yeah, seems like a great person to add, your boss. So she's currently wavering, but once you oppose her the first time, it will become a solid touchdown. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So.
Yeah. And my touchstones will get updated next time, I'm sure.
I think you didn't change them yet. Did you have one that you wanted to remove, or?
Well, no, I'm sure something with what's happening next week is going to change at least one of mine.
Oh yeah, well that's
Maybe.
something.
Make it wavering. I don't know.
Yeah, depending on how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. Next piece.
Aspirations.
Yep, aspirations are next. So talk to Zechariah. Yes.
Yeah.
Learn potential ways to sabotage the weather vane didn't come up yet. Do you want to keep that one or change it?
I'm going to change it because we're trying to figure out the science stuff for the portal. So
Okay.
monitoring or sensor equipment for portal.
Steve, track down Guernica. Yeah, I think you've gotten enough of well, I don't know, that's from borderline. You want to keep that one more week, or you think it's?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be what I'm doing next week, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Tamsin, figure out how to suck at sales while appearing to be competent.
I feel like you just cringe at my goal.
That's a work in progress, I think.
It is a work in progress.
All right. So Benji, what do you want to make your aspiration for next week? Or next
I
session?
want to get some kind of data on the other universe. Find something out about how the other universe works.
Okay. Yeah, Steve, you're keeping yours. Tamsin, did you have anything that you wanted to change, or did you want to leave that one as is?
I'm going to leave that as is.
Okay.
It feels like, yeah, it's the best descriptor for at least what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Because tap dance on my boss's face seems undoable
Extreme
this yet.
early on, yeah. It does take a bit of time to get to that point.
Someday.
Fools shall destroy them all. Ask me how. All right. So, did everyone recover any willpower based on the number of days that have passed?
How many days? When are we starting next?
We will start with, let's start with the next Monday, so we have a good week. I think that'll restore everyone.
Yeah,
On Monday the 20th.
Still not quite there.
My God, oh, for healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, well, you know,
Tuesday-
getting...
Tuesday will be healed.
Yeah. Okay, so that's dealt with. Scars. We did have one with the involuntary power buildup. Were there other scars that came into play that hosed someone?
Nope, but
No.
there might next week if I get shoved in a suitcase.
Yeah, there's going to be some. This was a bit of a logistical, not very terrifying one after that last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So technically, I decided that I did a very bad job of actually fixing things because I was being distracted by my
Demons.
lefty and righty. So
Okay.
I mean, it came up, but it didn't really screw up over any rolls or anything.
Yeah, it's fine. That's it was flavorful, and that's what is necessary to get that beat.
Okay.
Oh. All right. So, conviction touchstones. Jake, did you pursue any conviction touchstones this session?
I did not. No.
You did not. Okay. That's good to know. Now you don't need to worry about the. So it's going to be a wash for you with Guardian and the like. Usually you get if you don't pursue any touchstones. Did you pursue a loyalty at all in this one?
I mean, I interacted a bunch with Abby.
Okay. Yeah, she is. You're okay. So you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. You at least got the basics, and that will allow you to.
I made vague reference to a workout with Gary.
Yes, true. You can heal a couple 2 points of minor instability.
Okay. All right.
Although I guess it doesn't really matter because you don't have any because you are a guardian at the moment.
Yeah, no, I still have one minor.
Okay. Soul. Saul, did you have? I guess you had an interaction with your girlfriend.
Yep.
That's a medium. There was no risk involved, so just the medium. So you could heal one of your instability.
Yep.
Tamsin,
I called my coach.
you did call your coach. That was actually a pretty big deal. So you can heal your medium or heal a medium, and
You can't do
Okay.
anything with minor.
it's either medium or minor. Anytime I say medium, you can do medium or minor, major, medium, minor, etc. Okay. So you had pursued, and then Benji.
I reinstalled the seats into my car so that I can use her more
Yeah.
often in play.
Okay.
I went and filled in Zechariah on everything that we are going to do and
Okay.
on over him.
So yeah, I noticed. So yeah, 2 medium for you as well.
Okay.
All right. And are there other things that we wanted to do before I hand out XP?
I don't think so.
Nope, I think we're good.
Did you
There's
get
gonna
one
be-
for Noel's exceptional success?
Oh
Right.
no, I did not. But it's an uneven number, so it's just needs more beats in the beat on there next time. So it's going to be 2 beats apiece.
Put this at another XP.
Yep, with 0 left over.
And then and I think that's it for the moment. So again, I'm Eric Zawadzki, the developer on the Deviant the Renegades line. This is my tabletop group. You want to introduce yourselves again real quick?
Jake playing Steve.
Rachel playing Tamsin.
Mark, I'm playing Solomon.
Noel playing Benji.
All right. Thanks for watching.